Hello, this is Michael from Blue Gem Tarot. Today's episode is gonna be called Wild Things Crossing People's Minds When Thinking About You. Um, Timeless pick a card reading with three piles. Pile number one has this pearly hair clip. Pile number two has this round violet box. And pile number three has lavender bag. Okay. Take your time, pick your pile. You can choose multiple because I've had in here multiple themes that were recurring. Um, Also, I'm tired of editing this. I'm just gonna leave it here like this because every time I recorded, there was a motorcycle in the background, so don't even try complaining. Just kidding. But timestamps in the comments and the description, along with the donation link if you're interested. And as well, I wanted to thank all of you for the sweet support and all the ways of support in which you show it to my channel. Thank you so much. I really hope to get to read every single one of them. Sooner or later, this is gonna happen. Okay, see you in the pile, in your chosen pile, but I'm just saying you can choose multiple. You can even, if you have time and want, you can listen to all of them and see what relevant information is about you, because I felt like there could be some bits of information that you'd find surprisingly are very accurate about you from each pile, but not all of it. There has to be one particular pile that will resonate the most. So yeah, that's it. See you in each of your pile selections, okay? Okay, hello pile number one. Let's start with you. You have in here, first of all, the topic is wild things crossing people's minds when thinking of you. The first card we have in here, let me check. It's the leap card. You go first, the universe will catch you. I was tapping into some elements of trust, feeling freedom. This makes me feel like there is in here a secret story of sorts, or a secret thinking or even feeling component of the fact that there is some forbidden thoughts circulating about you, in the sense that people feel like they live in some sort of fantasy. And wild things, it's because there is some sort of truth element to the reality they live in that makes it so that this is actually wild to them. But we have in here some imagination, fantasy land, coming strongly with pile number one, where they imagine themselves feeling fully trusting you, feeling freed by the connection. In which sense? It makes me feel like there is a fantasy in here in regards to how they feel free around you and how they feel constricted by the life circumstances. This is a very like needy, needy, greedy type of like situation where the person really wants to be engulfed in your attention and in your idea of feeling like contained by you, okay? Contained by your presence. This is something that heavily doesn't match the situation, or it would be completely out of place or even inappropriate. So definitely keep in mind that this is the wild part, that's referring to the fact that it actually doesn't align or is not okay with how things are. And this person, this could be somebody who is pretty much it could be avoidant, it could be silent. The person is silent in here. It will be like this. I mean, you don't even know, but it can be the case you're not aware of it. So again, we have surrender, engulfment, blessed, ethereal. I can feel in here a lot of like ethereal fantasy stories, scenarios, and I want to say this is not only from one person in particular, but I want to say it makes me feel like some people wanted to call you theirs forever, and there is some sort of discrepancy between the real world and what they imagine in here, but highly desired. and almost forbidden in a way. I want to say it's a story about, or it's a thought, a wild thought about how this could all play out, how this could all go really well. This is a fascination thing as well mixed in. This is a quiet person. This could be even a shy person or somebody you don't even think about, but maybe just for pointer's sake, this is a person that you could be feeling like with your intuition that they have something for you, but you don't understand quite what exactly. And yeah, it makes me feel like also they're thinking of like carrying you around, or you carrying them around can also be the case, holding you or you holding them. um, yeah, it's pretty, let's just say again, it carries this very heavy sense of being forbidden. It's wild because they've never felt like this before, they've never had this thing. And with people in general, like if this were to extend and you're not looking for one particular person, it could be that this is one person having those things. But in general, it makes me feel like it's a runaway type of story or runaway type of scenario or situation where they just want to like go with you and like in the woods or something like this, like have an adventure of sorts, drop everything and go with you. You could be completely unaware of that, by the way. And it's a wonderful thing if you are looking for belonging, or if you're thinking or feeling as though you are alone. This is a pointer, or this is a sort of a thing where it says, you know, you're highly desired, wanted in here, and it's not a story about this pile being unattractive, or it makes me feel like people can't get enough of you. And this like wild thing, it's the attraction, the magnetism that's happening around here. And this is more to it than just attraction. This is wanting to spend time with you. This is almost inexplicable to them too, so I wouldn't be surprised if you're actually like thinking that, you know, I don't understand that. I don't understand what they're like, what I'm talking about in here. But very, like, also very, let's just say honorable, I'd say, because look, there is this long term or spiritual connection. What do I mean by long term and spiritual connection or power? It's almost as if it's fated, or somebody said that you were the one, or there is this collective feeling to it, and it's quite wild that they are very important. Like, this person is really important. I really have to be with them. I really want to be with them. There is like this denial of sorts also that's saying, you know, I can't be, but I have to, or regardless, I'll make it happen. This is a lot of entanglement in here, and there's a lot of, let's just say, I don't understand what I feel. It's very subconscious too. So don't be surprised if you have in here people with conflicting behaviors as well, and wild, positive, very positive fantasies that cannot be matched, or there is some sort of situation where it doesn't happen, or you know, it's almost the story where you see like a fruit in a tree, and it's so very high up that you cannot reach to it, but you really know that it's like roasted, not roasted, but you know, ripe. And you know, there is like this pain in a place of the body that, you know, I cannot go for it. I want to reach the top of the tree and get them, you know. And it's almost as if this is like, it's priceless, because I can see them really wanting to hold you, okay? It's a bit puzzling to me too, because I can see in here people just wanting to hold you, and I don't understand, because it's coming from a place of being regardless of the status of the relationship again. So it's a very addictive feeling, you know, very sweet, very sweetened energy, I would say, and chained to you. It could be, by the way, a fantasy of sorts where they surrender to you, where they are all yours. And again, this is strangely coming from some group of people, but in here this will play out as one person or two people, even three can be the case. This is very distinct. It means that these are the people that you must be in contact with. I don't feel like this is talking about some past, okay? This is very fresh energy. This is not stale or past or whatsoever where I say like this is coming from some distant future or X. No, this feels very tangible. This feels very crisp, real, and fresh. Nowhere to go, liberation and engulfment. I want to say there is something truly liberating about you, about the relationship, about the idea of you, and it's wild. It's actually making people feel like this is crazy, this is making them feel crazy or driving them crazy. Because quite honestly, look, it's very non-ordinary. It's very like you could be catching people like looking, and this could be like the point, like this is the one doing that sort of stuff, you know. Knowledge is lacking, okay? I'll hover around these concepts real quick, but I just want to say this is entirely just puzzling, confusing, very painful, very I can't get enough of them. I don't want to lose pile number one. I don't want to misbehave, almost as if I would hear things from that domain, and very, very, very valuable. But I also want to say there are people in here who just don't want to admit to that. Under no circumstance pile number one should know that they are very valued, or very like people feel chaotically out of place, chaotic, very confused, and very like attracted. But it's kind of like it's just you know, this is the thing where you would feel almost hate for somebody because they are so good, or because I cannot have them, or this is a very love and hate situation. At most, you'd hear or you'd see people like or hear very confusing things. So avoidant people can also be the case in here. Like they will love you, but they will also kind of like almost avoid, hate, or I can't figure them out. But in general it's a very positive, like positively affected, and having no like feeling powerless to it, okay? That's how I can call it, or that's how I could say it. I want to also say you catch people off guard and it makes them feel exposed. There must be an element to this reading where you know who that is. Because I saw in here the spy, I felt the energy of people looking, or you catching somebody looking. This is the person. It makes me feel like there's just like it makes me nauseous, like the positivity. Like for some it's too much. Like it is the case where the person is really overwhelmed, okay? The person is really overwhelmed by the possibility of you. There is too many let's just say stages, elements, layers, levels that the person is perceiving, and it's making them feel like this is exactly what I want, this is too much, I cannot understand, you know? It's like very chaos, very chaotic thoughts, very wild, wildly chaotic and wildly positive in here. And I want to say they come off as very unexpectedly unstoppable. It's as if your impression carries or stays with you with them. Even it makes people like feel like they cannot fall asleep. They can have issues with food, they can have issues with sleep in here, they can have issues with the relationships, and some jealousy in here can be sparked from the idea that the person is thinking about you but they are already in a relationship. So this feels unfair. I want to say it's some people in here said that, you know, this is wildly unfair that I met this person at this time, or wildly unfair that this person is representing these things, and I'm like the one who has to witness that and not have it, okay? Something about you feeling out of reach. very, like, I want to say, you have in here creative spirituality, creative tradition. It's like, for regular people, there is gonna be the story where they settle, they have this family issue thing, family cell, or idea of a relationship. With you, it's like a bit more complex, and more and more it becomes apparent that what they chose or what they were looking for and they established is a bit mediocre, and there is a lot of powerlessness with the idea that I want them, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do with the feelings, I don't know what to do with the ideas. I want to say this is also beyond feelings. There is this overwhelming understanding in here, which is much more about thoughts and understanding, like mental, that you are compatible with what they want, with what they seek. And it makes people feel like various degrees of lack, not enough of you, not like, I just want to say this is like a popular person who shows up, for example, I don't know, in a village, in a city, and everybody knows about their presence, everybody knows of their arrival. And there is a universal, let's just say, resource in here that seems to be pointed or appointed almost to you. Um, there is this feeling also of being found, previously being lost, and right now being found. Just a lot of crazy long-term scenarios and schemes and plans and things to change. And this is scarily intrusive, I would say, because look, we have in here a lot of people looking. So this pile, you'll resonate with some situations in which people are looking for you, or you're in a situation where a lot of people are looking up to you. They are in your proximity. You feel this, you see and feel this pull, or this general feeling of being close, like people being close, like in your energy, being engulfed in your energy, and them being or distant or whatsoever, and you're like wondering, what am I doing in this space? Why am I meant to feel this thing? Why these people can't face me? Like, I want to connect, I don't understand what's going on. Precisely, this reading came to clarify that there is just too much. I just want to say, it makes me feel it's a bit unfair that I'd say that you're too much, okay? You're too much, but for these people in a perception of theirs, because there's too much for them to process. This is the story, this is the case where pile number one shows up, and you're irrepeatable. And it makes also sense that they have this idea of what they've seen, and it's quite repetitive. In your case, there is just this new chapter of the unknown or unseen or completely off the charts. I don't know what's happening or what's to unfold. And generally, it makes people feel really powerless to, like, they don't have control. I'd say this is wild imagination, wild stories, wild yet unknown and unraveled stories, history, wanting to make history, wanting to be the almost cornerstone of your life of sorts, wanting to be something meaningful in your life as well, wanting to prove almost that they are worthy of being contained by you, I'd say also. And it's a bit on edge as well for me to read, because it makes me feel like it's on the precipice of the unknown, particularly because look, this is the story where the person is thinking that they figured you out, and in fact they didn't. It's a bit confusing because there is this pre-established idea of what they will analyze. And the wilder element in all of this is how unpredictably powerless they feel to it, okay? That's like, this is quite hilarious, I'd say also, because look, they get to the point of even detaching, okay? There is just like this rush, or like almost same energy from like golden fever, wanting to hold, grasp, reach out. But then when they are faced with the first obstacle, it's as if they release it all together and they detach, or they want to detach because it feels like they won't stand a chance. This is all happening in the department of the mental, and a lot of disparity from the emotional. Detachment from what I want. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is the game where the person is really gonna play unavailable, distant, despite really wanting you. This is not accidental. This is a very concrete situation. So if you want to know, like, look for your look for the intuition, look for very strange interactions, look for very almost this person carries a baggage that they haven't expressed relative to me. That's the story, like that's where it's coming from. That's the lead. That's the And generally, this is like how I see it plainly for you to understand. I see people and I see them holding a whole bag of issues, baggage, trash, past, ideas, projections, like holding them and hiding them away from you and remaining quite silent. And it could be coming off as very confusing because you're a very open person, or I would say it's you're a very freely connecting to people type of person. And for you it won't make sense, like I've done nothing to this person but they're giving me either mixed signals or really stuff that I cannot even understand where I stand with this person. Is this person even hating me? You could think that you have some haters, where actually the people are actually really like, I don't see an issue, or I don't see why you'd be hated in here. And there is a growing awareness of or understanding in general that you are very valuable, very high class, very high rank, and something about like regardless of the status, relationship, thing, job, rank, whatever, name. I don't care. It makes me feel like you have some qualities in here or felt elements to your presence that generally just make them feel like this person feels like a royal person or stuff like that, or they come from a very wealthy or very important family, or you have some power relationships or things that hold you really like in this very 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 good light. Okay, there is this wild also perception or plan to quietly and powerfully and also deeply infiltrate into your life. This also made me feel like you feel as though you're out of this world. In which sense? In the sense that something about you doesn't apply to the normal rule, or something about you deviates from the normal rule, and it also feels like, this person feels in and out. It's as if people had to struggle. This person has something sorted out. People wanting to be carried, held in your hands, stuff like that. I can also see in here some, like, I see four attempts for some reason. Four attempts of trying to insistently build something long term, having a very powerful long term vision, somebody manifesting something long term with you. You could be feeling a pull, some sort of pull, or somebody almost like pigeonholing you into an idea. I can see in here just a lot of gravity, a lot of like thoughts, wild thoughts or things that generally hold a lot of gravity or a lot of like weight, in the sense that you're not lightly thought of, or there is just this absent feeling of lightness. There's just this grand plan, I don't know, to almost conquer you or hold you in their space or in their head like as a trophy. But this is also a very passive thing. It's as if they want to also like win you over but then surrender to you. That's kind of complicated to and it's very persistent also. It's complicated for me a bit to understand, but I can just pinpoint and tell you what energy flows out of the words I've written. I want to say persistence as well. There is a wild thing in here that's coming through as being unexpectedly persistent in the idea of your pursuit, even though we have some barriers, or we have in here some overwhelmingly clear things that would be considered like taboo, or this is not gonna work, don't even try, like almost as if could be marriage in here for some, could be involvement in other barriers, issues, psychological issues, family matters, debts in here can also play out, and addictions, and like I just want to change for them. Okay, kind of like I don't say these things lightly, or I don't say them on accident. I don't hear always ideas like I want to change for them, and I usually don't play with that kind of stuff. I don't want to make people feel delusional, but there's just this precipice of change. Like I want to change for them. I don't know how. I don't know how I will change, but I want to be a part of their story. And for that to happen, I really have to change the core aspects of how I drive my life. This is wonderful, like rehab type of stories, or rehab ideas. Like I want to recover. I would change. I want to change for them. I want to like change the habits. I would even see in here a person or two, even some like group of people lightly, and also some of them deeply, thinking about how they are gonna drop some habits, some addictions, some lifestyles, because they want to grow into a version of what you represented, or what you gave them energetically wise, or simply what they felt into your presence. Okay, that's as simple as that. There is a lot of shame also, but it's very quickly subdued by your presence. It's as if, we have also very similar energy to one time when I was talking about a virtue element, or this pile reflecting some, I don't know, God virtue thing or quality, honorable quality. You don't even have to even think about it as a virtue, by the way. Like, this is so funny though. Like, literally, this could be as simple as just holding yourself accountable, or really keeping your word. Like, this is just so simple. Like, this is so simple, you don't even consider it, okay? Um, you sparked some people taking control of their life finally, okay? Somebody saw in here or thought about you in a sort of a wild, like God-given success or key or answer to their call. Power hungry also wrote in here. I don't know what's that about, but I'll figure it out. Sympathy, wild control, or I can see in here a very, let's just say, it feels like a wonderful person, worthy kind of thing, match, not match, but relationship, very good person to have around. Doesn't mean it has to be serious, or doesn't mean it has to be really something about partnership whatsoever. But this person, it feels like they have wild thoughts, wild hungry thoughts of almost making you theirs, or making you depend on them, or power hungry in the idea of like they've seen something real good, and they want to like really secure that into their life. Go ahead, try that. Not gonna work. I just feel like you could freely cut off everything that you just want, like wildly also. What's wild in here, because I'm tapping into this energy, it's how easily you can cut off, or how easily you can cut access to some people into your life. Access to your energy. It's whole next level, I'd say also. Um, Somebody felt in here or thought about some wild story in their head that made them really empowered by the idea of having you. I saw in here catalyst. I saw in here also it's being written there as being like radical progress, taking control, secret to success, again coming back to this element. Somebody saw in here the idea, like almost a genius thing, like if I stick to this person, if I love them, if I stay with them, then I will not be miserable. I should really listen. There is also a very powerful, I wouldn't say powerless. What's that? Whatever. It's making me feel like you have some ease or just rational wisdom and very good advice that the person is feeling like they should be listening to, and it made them feel really empowered, or it's as if it was also like sort of a god-given like answer to a call. A wild thing in here will also play out in the thought that this is also god-given person, pile number one, god sent, or you don't even understand this as much. I don't even feel like this need to actually explain this to you, because it could be quite effortless, or actually very well, like just a good person or a good heart, and you're just doing this not because somebody or an angel came to you and whispered to your ear saying that you should be doing that. But no, it makes me feel like it makes sense, like this what should be happening, like it's a very natural thing, natural radiance of purity, of this is not a story about necessarily like not innocence, purity, whatever. No, it can be the case, but this is not necessarily the layer I want to address in here. It's just like natural grace, natural elegance and grace into the idea of giving. It's not that serious, it's not that complicated. It's just like being a decent human being, and not even about being polite or something, but it's generally like generous in your energy. And because of this generosity, people just feel a bit like their compass is completely either broken, very overwhelmed. I'm channeling a lot of overwhelm, very positive overwhelm, and this craving or desire to lock you in, to make it so and close in the circle or the situations in your favor, in their favor, so that you are stuck with them. Okay, I also saw in here some very strange thing, revenge out to get you. This is a bit of a dark twist in here, but hear me out. This could be stemming from the idea that somebody in here claimed you, or claimed you in a very aggressive, persistent way, and this person doesn't accept defeat, because defeat in their head would mean lack of self-worth or rejection. And I can see this person either wanting almost to hunt you down. um, I don't feel like this is gonna work for them in particular. I just want to say you're just too exposed, or you're just too well held in the public eye for you to be affected by this. But I can see in here some sort of almost like, I will prove to them my worth. It's a very almost aggressive, but yeah, it's a bit like non-relevant, I'd say. Also, it's wild hunt for you, like that's how it feels. It almost makes me feel like you are targeted, or this person being obsessed with you, too precious to be lost to somebody else. I see in here almost it does come through as devilish, in the sense of reinvention, destruction of what has been, transformation into something else for the sake of gaining your admiration. And hear me out, it's gonna feel very controversial what I'm gonna say right now, and I usually don't say stuff like that as well, but there is gonna be genuinely something good out of the idea of somebody emulating something, or changing something for just the sake of being in your proximity, or having a chance. Okay, this feels like a push for progress, and that's why it's so wildly almost welcomed and not interfered or shifted or changed. You could be just being there, and it's sparking a lot of inspiration and a lot of what if I change, what if I. And it doesn't mean that the person is gonna like get their way and actually impose themselves or create something in their favor at the expense of you. However, over time it makes me feel like regardless of the outcome, for them it's gonna be a thing that's gonna make them grow, and that's exactly why you're being placed so strategically in people's lives, so that you can spark this like almost drama and wonder. I came across this in a previous reading where it generally like sometimes the universe does play, or it makes me feel like it does play like this. It does make people feel, if the universe doesn't have any other access to the person, it could make them fall in love. It could dangle something that's important to them and almost trap them into the idea. Maybe that's my belief. I don't know. You don't have to agree. I just felt the need to say that into the reading, um, because there's just this like feeling of watching you, and almost feeling like watching is like a movie, in the sense that it's like watching a movie of sorts. Or let's see, it's like the story where a kid really sees some character from a cartoon or from a movie and says, I want to be like them. Okay, exactly the story in here. And there is this very strong feeling of impossibility. I don't know, something being coming from the sense of you being unreachable, or you fragmentally being present into people's lives, or briefly interacting with people and just setting the tone, setting the tone of what's to, the direction in which to go, the proper direction to go forward into, or whatever. You got the idea. I can see in here definitely some people obsessing and just losing it over the fact that you're gonna be there sooner or later. Admiration rooted in, like, again, love, very classical example as well. You are mine and mine only. Very radical, I'd say. And also this makes me feel like it's very misplaced, it's very out of place, and even inappropriate for some, because these are the people who can also have families. These are the people in some, like, almost getting ready for marriage or having a long-term relationship, and they met your energy. I'd say more so they met your energy rather than they met you. And God, they've never felt, they've never seen something like this, and wild fantasies of running away. It's kind of unfortunate for the other person, but something about wanting to make you part of their collection. This sounds strange, but it's just as simple as just wanting to have the chance to have you in their life, to have you on a permanent basis into their life. Okay. Mysterious stillness. There's this prevalent feeling of this pile not chasing, and not chasing affection, admiration, however, effortlessly partaking in the display of those. And they could be very strange. In which sense? They could come off as very mild at first, or they could come off as very confusing. You can have people watching you, and you could feel like the person is admiring you, but they never said it. And they could be also choosing you, and you wouldn't even know. And there is also unspoken affection in here. And it's not gonna feel like, hear me out, just so you don't feel like a crazy person in here hearing that. This is not gonna be apparent. This is not very straightforward energy, unfortunately. This is very under wraps, because there is a lot of social dynamics in here at play, and it will not make sense for them to just come clean, okay? And thus we have this, again, releasing and wanting you at the same time, holding on to you, feeling defeated, feeling magnetized, feeling attracted, feeling this again wild things. It's a wild admiration in here. It's that type of admiration that really makes your head spin a bit. It's making you feel dizzy, it's making the person feel dizzy, it's making them feel like they are like this is the type of love where the person is capable of conquering things, wanting to slay dragons. This is the type, and it's like it awakens in people various things of from the swords, from the idea of like, I'm capable of moving mountains. I didn't even know I can do that um, prior to meeting you. Like, that's how it feels. Holding on to you, also detachment and coldness. You will encounter that. You will encounter all types of reactions. There, like the spectrum in here. I don't know to congratulate you or not, but the ways in which this attraction, pull, magnetism, and general aura will manifest, it will be a bit like not okay. For you, it's gonna feel like a display, a bit like a little bit of everything. It's gonna feel like watching a movie that's both a drama, romance, like horror movies, okay? Stalking in here is gonna also be relevant. People coming and going, people making you feel something then disappearing. You'd do best to keep yourself out of it. You just have to sift. And you do that well, I'd say, because this is no mistake that you have this energy to begin with. Um, Beating around the bush as well. The on the precipice of confession, on the precipice of confessing feelings and saying things and revealing things, very inadequate things. I also say, like, you would meet the person and all of a sudden they'd say that they love you or they have feelings, and you could be shocked because this person was behaving in a very weird way. Indecision over or fear of losing you, scarcity, craving you. I crave you. And also, I didn't even see that, but I also wrote it right next to it. And it's a lot of overwhelm, okay? I was actually talking about this, I know, but a lot to unpack. A lot to unpack. And it's like not even allowing them to fully have the time, or something about spying failed, okay? Can be your perception, can be your intuition that really destroyed it. It can be also wildly raw emotion that was like coming up in here, that entered the chat, and it just it was almost cruel. Don't be like scared or I'm sorry, but this is like what I see. I have to tell it. I see in here ruthlessness because either comparison happened or judgment or a lot of like mirroring of sorts, and you being the cure, okay? What's wild in here is the fact that you could have been even thought of or seen as both like poison and both the cure or the remedy and also the answer to their call. So it's as if the person initially could have even hated on you, like really hated or feeling eclipsed by you in a way, and then all of the sudden understanding that you were actually their saving grace. So it's very like almost kind of stupidly um, confusing for me as well, and for you it could be even more confusing. Loving, hating you, liking you, regardless of this, when you're not around, your presence really stings. It really hits on this very visceral level of, yeah, maybe I was feeling like they were mirroring or were making me feel some sort of way, and very insecure came through as well. But actually, I just want to see them. Like, that's how simple and plain this is. So if you have the things, ideas, feelings of sorts that you're not desirable or that you don't have a person, and I don't feel like this is the case, could have been from the past, but I can see in here genuine craving. So if you had the doubt that you're lovable, that you are desirable, I just see in here a lot of desire. I just see in here craving. I see in here scarcity. I see in here people being led into various states of despair because they understood that you're scarce. You're not like everyone else. You're not like you're not easily accessed as well. It's as if, the stars really aligned when they met you, okay? And what's coming through is quickly shifting, so don't get too comfortable with pile number one. Don't get too close to them because they can be out. Like, they can be out in a second. And this realization hits really late because of the precipice of change, because of what was happening and it was overwhelming. Their radar did not register the fact that you could be gone in an instant, in a minute, in a heartbeat. This pile feels like you could be shifting places, jobs, situations, relationships. You could be like coming from for a very brief period of time, and this is making people feel like, I thought that they're gonna stay because I stayed here 7 years, okay, or I stood here, or I worked here 5, 2, 4, I don't know, years, and I thought that they're gonna be mine, okay. I thought that, I have all the time in the world, and actually I didn't, and that's very like it's a lot of despair. It's unpreparedness. It's a lot of overwhelm and lacking time. It feels like it's a bad joke. It's a bad joke on. It made me want to say also self-esteem for some maybe, but it's like you have to be quickly impressed as well. It's as though, like, you really have to stop and look at that person and consider it. But for them it was like, no, they were behind 2, 4 steps, like, behind when you were ahead. I chose you, but you're not around. This could be literally self-fulfilling prophecy, future thing. I deeply valued you. I deeply loved you, and I couldn't reach out to you. I couldn't, like, confessions, late confessions. You could be dealing with people reaching out to you, and you being like, just leave me be. Like, why aren't you just leaving alone? People feeling comforted by your aura, um, by the idea of you, by the image of you. Various states of gratitude, feelings, and intensities coming from the idea of people mentioning your name, them thinking about it. It's very painful. I don't want to go there. It's really painful. It stirs a lot of longing in here. Can't be with them. They slipped away from me. I also wrote in here poor taste. It's as if there has been a chance for up-leveling real fast. They should have just reached out. They should have just taken the chance. The willingness should have been there. It must feel also, it feels like really interesting because you don't look at the rank, you don't look at the person, just look at the intensity of their desire to change and the willingness. And you're able to lift that person really, really high, Compression, mistrust, two values, holding close and fighting. And I can see in here also kind of like being being afraid, a lot of fright, there is a lot of hesitation, there is a lot of like juggling two responsibilities, two people, or two situationships can be the case. And the person was really late. The person really hesitated with the wrong person, wanting to have you and somebody else on the side, some other friends. No, chance lost. Goodbye. Grab your things and go. Okay? Like, that's how it feels. Too late. Caught off guard by the swift, like, disappearance. My sun is gone. Yeah, sun in reverse. And I have to cover that, okay? Thank you for reminding me. But okay, we have the sun in reverse, and like, my sun is gone. You being gone. You being gone for good. My one and only is gone. Sitting there, wanting to reach out, feeling defeated, feeling like you slipped away or you are out of reach. Very sad. Not for me and not for you. Okay, that's the most important part. Honestly, I'm just holding back from cursing because what is that? Holding two values and juggling two things when pile number one is here. Like, it doesn't make sense. It's I'm just really holding myself from cursing, okay? How can it be? How can it be? I don't see it. I don't understand. Um, you are a phenomenon of sorts. You're like a natural, like, not order. It's like a natural phenomenon, you know, that like shakes things up. It shakes the whole, you know, like a natural cataclysm almost disrupts the people's plans. Like that's how pile number one feels. And you dare like you dare juggle pile number one and somebody else. You have time for that? Like, sorry. There is just too much intricate detail to you that it just simply cannot be overlooked. You cannot talk to somebody else while talking to pile number one. Pile one deserves full attention. I say, and I'm an advocate, everyone deserves like this type of attention. But for you, the qualities in here are so defined and the contrast is so big that, my god, you should be blind to not understand that. Not talking about you, but the people in here. Like, to mistreat pile number one is just like not disrespectful. It feels like it's a bit blasphemous or lacking, like very distasteful, very, very bitter. It makes me feel really bitter. I'm holding back from saying stuff in here, but it's like a whole bunch of fools not understanding what they came across, and then having the stupidity in here in the last part, like having dared to actually. I'm sorry, not me ranting here, but uh, no, no, just no, okay? This is a gift, and you don't do that to a gift, okay? I just see in here, I don't know, gold doesn't belong to a place where it doesn't belong, you know? Diamonds are supposed to be carried around a beautiful person's neck, okay? On a ring, on a beloved person's ring and hand. This is distasteful, okay? This what I found in here from the side of the people, and then bracing themselves and actually wanting to come back miserable. I'm sorry. Not your fault, not your fault, but it's just confusing to me, to say the least. And sad. It's really making me angry because it's actually deeply saddening me in a way, and it's making me feel like you are overlooked. And it's, again, I don't want to activate this for too long because I feel like I'm gonna be losing it, okay? And it's perhaps it's also mirroring your lack of reflection. It's mirroring the lack of natural, like a desire to be recognized. And this feels like it's blatantly disrespectful. At some point, it must have been, should have been some parent situations where they just, you know, how a person just is born and universally everyone deserves to be loved and respected, but when you find something fragile, like in its beauty, you know, and to miss on that is just like not getting the point, not getting the point of pile number one. And it feels like it's a recurring pattern in here from people, and that's why it's just so deeply making me feel bitter, okay? But anyway, maybe like it's valid to feel this way, it's valid for me, for you to feel this way, and overall you will be sifting through this. It's just a temporary or a thing that will be purified. sooner or later, doesn't matter. But what's steady, and I really love it, it's the fact that your worth was never in question. The lens through which this was given to you was always the issue. Okay? You know what I'm talking about. You have to know about it, okay? Thanks for watching. That's it. I said it's gonna be a half of an hour. No chance it didn't. It didn't. It wasn't. It wasn't. I'm sorry. Or not. Really doesn't. I mean, I just loved it. It's not not the last part. It's not about you, but you're brilliant, okay? You're just a natural phenomenon. You're like a natural, for some really a natural disaster that has to unfold, okay? Once again, thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the older videos on the channel, and if you want to donate for the channel, you have the links in the comment section and the description. Thank you in advance for all your support. I hope to get back to all of the comments, striving for it. And you are the reason this is going, this is working. You're the reason why I can perform miracles with these readings, because I don't know, it feels right. Thanks for watching. Take care. Okay, pile number 2. Let's see what we have. Okay, checking the actual, yeah, we have boundaries in reverse. This one is quite straightforward. I will tell you exactly the intricacies of this, but before I do, I want to say, either you unlocked something powerful within you right now, you brought it to your awareness, or you just universally got some sort of skill or value thing. It either unlocked or is in the process of unlocking, and it's powerfully being seen as something very desirable. And I want to say, create boundaries, because this is gonna be crazy if you don't have boundaries with the thing that you just discovered or you're about to. Because boundaries in this case in reverse, like you discovered some sort of gold mine, and right now people would do anything for this gold mine to be theirs, and something about you being the actual key to this gold mine. So anyway, gold mines don't think they have keys or locks, but you got the general gist of it. Weirdly enough, this is a desire, this is thoughts crossing their minds, in the sense that they want to have no limits, no space, wanting to be engulfed in your energy, no boundaries, no space, no nothing. Powerful feeling of being in your energy, engulfed and very, very close to you. This is one person, this is more people, regardless. I mean, what you're interested in, this will play itself out, but not having enough of you, being addicted to you and obsessed, also is going to be powerfully the case. I see in here somebody not wanting you to have boundaries. Not gonna go in like what this means. Literally can mean what I literally said, but for some it's gonna be like they don't, it's a very anxious almost pull to be in your space, for no space to be around you. Like it's a very obsessive, that's why it's wild actually from the topic, and it crosses their minds also in a very forbidden way, just like it was with pile number 1. But it's a desire to have no obstacles in your way. Usually I don't say it, but I'll say it now. You can exploit it if you see that, I mean, not gonna go there in, if you want, if not, really depends on the circumstance, but you can exploit it if you see that it's not, you know, be ecological about it, but you can exploit it, right? So place boundaries, place equal exchange, so that you can also be satisfied with what you are being given in exchange. Or this is a bit of a message, like profit off of it, but be mindful of the effects and be very careful about like the, let's just say, not morality but the ethical part. Anyway, I can say one thing for sure: you have something valuable and you definitely should price it. And that's why I'm saying take serious um, awareness, be aware of it, and use it in your favor, because establishment of boundaries could literally be a price, or could be like filtering people in accordance with their um, situations, your needs, your aims, your passions, and yeah, something along the lines of this. Uh, it's a strong pull to actualize who you are by using the sifting method with people. So, nothing too complicated, just filter your people, because there are gonna be a lot. If already you don't have, like, this smells like a fun base. This smells like a lot of people wanting to reach out. Be careful with that, because you have to be aware of what's entering into your life, and you know this better than I do. So yeah, we have even intrusive thoughts in here. A lot of people wanting to reach out to you in various different ways. This is not only romantic. This is a lot of curiosity. This is a lot of energy of wanting to be in touch, and it crosses the minds of people in a very random way. You can expect to be connected, acquainted, people wanting to introduce themselves to you, people seeking your attention directly, indirectly, bypassing their awareness, them being aware of it and not being aware of it, subconscious level attraction or pull. Very magnetic, and it could even at some point make you feel either uncomfortable or actually more so annoyed. It feels like it's gonna make you feel annoyed because you are used to sifting people, but in this case it's just gonna be too much, and you're gonna be having to be careful and like further, like, let's just say, filter. Okay, because also we have in here like can't get enough of you, or wanting your attention, wanting it's a very like hidden. Okay, how it will also play out is gonna be very subconscious. Aside from many things I said, the core image of what energy I see, it's very subconscious, it's very unconscious as well. It's like I just feel connected, I just want to feel connected to them, I want to be around them. Okay, it crosses people's subconscious mind, I would say. Wanting to reach out to you, to your, can be presence, can be multiple things in here, but the thing is, it is perceived as too much from your side. Okay, unimaginably attractive, can't get enough of you, searching for you in the crowd, searching for more, wanting to get more. I don't know. This is suspicious because, I mean, it's a very strange thing, but it's what I see. Okay, we have in here this pull, this desire, this attraction, magnetism, being drawn to you like a moth to a flame. And it's very haphazard, very random, very explosive, very like obsessive. For some it's gonna be a quiet hum, for others it's gonna be a loud like explosive feeling, and you could expect even to show up in places like regularly or by habit, and you can expect people to show up there, and it can come off as a bit like intrusive. Okay, because the main theme of the reading itself is this boundaries in reverse. So only based from this image I can see a lot of people wanting to reach out to you in various ways and for various reasons. But what perhaps is also quite astonishing in this case, beyond what I have written, is the fact that we have weaver, acolyte, and dancer. It's as if you either can advertise, uh, it could be a skill, it could be something that you're creating, it could be a business, but in general it's having this feeling like it doesn't need even advertising. You are excelling at it, and that's exactly what's making it so that it's popular or it's just wanted. It's very, if you have schedules where you're either posting or if you are uh, creating something on a basis, like on a repeated basis, people are waiting for it. Could be content creation, could be literally anything in this case, but people are hungry and they are waiting. The weaver, the acolyte, the dancer, again, very creative, productive creation, production. And like with tree, I would even say in here that this is talking or feeling to me like legacy or leaving a legacy for people. Very powerful things. And I want to say it almost makes me feel like it's going on without you even noticing it or without you even being aware of it. It's like a person who's like weaving gold threads without even realizing that they are doing so, or creating things that are so valuable that they are not even completely, like, you could be so engulfed in what you're doing that you're not even sure or not even fully aware of how powerful the things that you're doing they actually are. Okay, this is proficiency. I see this dancer, I see this like ribbon in here, the way in which it forms, it makes me feel like this pile, you have no idea. You have no idea how much money you can actually receive. You have no idea how anticipated your energy is. You have no idea how strongly the commitment to your production of sorts is being weighted on. And I want to even say it with this acolyte and new projects and learning, it makes me feel like this is not even everything. Like this is only the beginning, or this is only what's like in the now. Okay, anyway, it's very powerful. And we have the muse in here. I want to even say it makes me feel like you are irrepeatable, or you could be perceiving inspiration from outside, whereas people are actually perceiving or wanting you to be their inspiration. Gambler, loss, risks, this is all talking about the idea of people like literally just placing their bets who you're going to choose. And this is no romantic situation. It can be, but I'm not talking necessarily about that right now. It's the feeling where there is this like rare painting and a lot of people are interested in buying it, and a lot of people are like proposing various prices for it, and the higher the price, the bigger the likelihood that the person is gonna, like, it's an auction. If I said correctly, type of situation. And a lot, like, again, the grasping hands in here from the boundaries card just looks too suspicious. It makes me feel like, establishment of order is gonna be something very relevant to pile number 2. And with this even selection of the box, what I can say, it's a very beautiful box, and the fun fact is I so randomly picked it. I have no idea what's inside, but the in and of itself, the meaning of that is people already perceive the exterior as being very, very valuable, like very good. Something that you did or something that you're producing already looks real good, and it's like a prediction, or it's like a sign that what is inside is actually even better or is not gonna be disappointing. But anyway, like the gold mine analogy, be careful. This is literally a story where you could be doing something so powerful or popular that you actually could be annoyed by how much attention you can get from it. Right now that I'm thinking about this, it doesn't even have to be an occupation. It doesn't even have to be that complicated business wise, whatever. It can literally just be the person. It's as simple as that, because when a person is real good at what they're doing, it usually flows into a business, it usually flows into an activity, an exposure to the public. So whatever the case may be for you individually, already you have this overwhelming feeling of value, and placing value upon you, placing value upon what you provide, what you give, or what your presence inevitably shows or brings to the table. So whatever the case may be with what I have just told you, it's seemingly creating this precipice or on the edge of what's possible. Okay, it's like, buy a ticket for front row from like pile number two's live, because if you don't in time, they're gonna be sold out real quick. Okay, very valuable. I don't know what's going on in here. I'm just a messenger, but it's very powerful and a good impression that people want to create also. Okay, something about your energy could be stable or guaranteeing stability, roots, tradition, value, ancient, old values, or universal value, or something about your presence being like this, granting them access to something very, very like up leveling, uplifting, a level 2, 3, 4 levels higher than where they are at right now. It's like meeting a wise person and they are capable of giving them some sort of life-changing advice, even begging for you, I want to say. I don't say it if I don't see it, but that's what I see, so definitely the case. Uh, Also, this is all interesting, particularly because it will catch you by surprise. You could not be expecting this, or you could have been actually preparing for this. Um, Inevitably, you are being placed in the spotlight or in the center of attention, and a lot of attention. This stability, roots, tradition, value, I want to say disturbingly, it comes through as almost intrusive thoughts to claim you or to make you theirs. This can be like the story where it could be literally an like entity, not entity like spiritual, but for example, a museum wants to make the permanent residence, you to make their permanent resident for the storage of your paintings. Like that's how it feels. And in relationships, that's gonna play out for you. It's like people want to guarantee that you're gonna sit with them and your heritage, your legacy is gonna be lived in the passing of their hands or something like this. It's a very, let's just say, honorable um, desire to establish a sort of a presence, a sort of a esteemed, highly esteemed place of theirs into your life, so that they can somehow hold you or hold the results of your works, labor, whatever the case may be. In here, I want to see you have in here a lot of like candidates for that. I don't know what you've been doing, perhaps witchcraft, I don't know, but it's definitely working. Those of you who are not into witchcraft, don't listen to me. But can be as real and it can be as like I'm just kidding type of energy, but something in here shifted. It's like makes me feel like there is just suspiciously too much attention. Either it's like you could have been very magnetic lately, but this is not only about a temporary feeling, this is a very powerful, I'm in the center of it and I know where I'm ready, and it's only growing. Okay, you can have people wondering about you, thinking about you, asking out about you, asking about like for more information about you, like who are they, what are they doing, like what's the deal with them, how are they so good at what they're doing, like let's be friends, let's be acquaintances, let's get acquainted, let's deepen the relationship. Also will play out very like wildly possessive thoughts as well, I would say. And with this like stability, roots, it's also very similar to one in the sense that they want to create like a long-term connection in here, that they would basically have at the like, it will be like within reach, it will be at the like fingertips. Okay, having something that people really really want to have as well. This is also coming through as almost like a slithering, sly desire to be around so as to meet your needs and seemingly be there without, like, this is a smarter group of people. They understand what you provide and they don't want to be clingy, they don't want to show how much they care or how much they are interested, but they are going to position themselves so that it's gonna be like, I'm the first one to be contacted by pile number two. And also this is like when you perceive, like, when you see a space like in city, town, whatever, and you can understand that there is a lot of like circulation happening around there, and you buy a lot space specifically and open something that would meet a lot of people's needs, and almost like you're positioning yourself in this case for your convenience where a lot of people are gonna need you. So it's like we have this energy where people are just wanting to position themselves strategically, like these smarter, like very sly ones, so that they're the first ones to be contacted by you. Okay, there, like, I'm curious how this works out for you, particularly how this like applies to you, but you can be suspiciously finding out a resource or people with some sort of resource that's like cheap, suspicious, like, why is this person so suddenly close, and so it's as if they appeared out of nowhere. This is no coincidence, or it could be people behaving with some character traits that they would think that you want, and therefore would interest you to have them long term into your life. Okay, it could be more the case that this is talking about like wild plans or wild thoughts or ideas or schemes in here. But ultimately, what's good in here is the fact that you have to profit off of this as well. Also wrote in here, having something that people really, really like, want, and really, really want to have. Heritage expressed. By the way, I see in here somebody driving and thinking to themselves that you have that which they want. Okay, if you see a person driving, if you see something of sorts, like a person driving and looking in your direction, this could be a confirmation. This could literally be a person who's driving in here, but this is like the case where I say, some silent person is thinking about the fact that you have something that they really want, and they are ready to, let's just say, mold the space or the life of theirs or their character so that they could be potentially chosen. This is not even talking about romance. It could be, but it's more to it than romance. Okay, this is like shared destiny, shared interest, shared capability to be compatible because of shared interests. Okay, heritage expressed through you, value also expressed through you, and it's like, it's almost as if you have you expressing this heritage and a person really wanting to collect or to really have this under their control, or for example, an artist needs art supplies and they find a person that sells those or has access to a lot of art supplies. This is the same, and you are the actual person who has and a worthy person of being invested into. I want to also say obsessive or wild thoughts. It's about the idea of perhaps even creating some sort of fund or some financial support or some support so that you could be properly expressing yourself into the world. Why particularly this is wild? It's because it's so silent, or perhaps because it's so secretive. Okay, it's almost as if somebody in here doesn't necessarily want you to fully understand how valuable you are or how valuable the things that you provide actually are. And there is profit, like wanting to profit off of it in some sort of way, shape, or form. So definitely I would be mindful of that. But overall, I feel like something about you is way too powerful to even be dealt in, like even to give you a warning of sorts. It doesn't even matter, it doesn't even apply, I would say. I don't feel like you are in danger, or it's as if you are transforming or constantly changing your energy in such a way that actually it doesn't even matter, or it doesn't even reach to you, and it's not that much of a big deal. Or there is a feeling of wanting actually to compartmentalize your worth and to actually direct it in their favor. But there is some sort of hidden growth factor that has brought this pile to where they are at that will further expand them and make them feel like this is actually a laughable attempt to control your flow, your evolution, or your transformation, or push or lift into the future. Okay. What is interesting about this pile is the fact that wildly people are feeling powerless to the idea of your worth, and some of them actually, like, it's a bigger level. They want to control, distill, or bring it down, manipulate that worth so that you are properly controlled, or this display is being controlled. I feel like this is a futile attempt. However, it's not gonna necessarily work. It's funny because I don't see this affecting you. I see a very old, maybe, story about like old soul or old experienced person, old experienced soul person. Okay. And it's as if we have in here some very laughable attempt to actually hold their reins. It's very power hungry people, or people used to having power over situations, and they think that the algorithm or the scheme in which they went about doing that is gonna apply to you as well. Kind of funny, that's why I'm like actually mentioning this. I don't feel like you should be concerned with that at all, okay? This could be even a person interested in you hiding their feelings, and that's how simple it is. Like, they don't want you to find out how much they actually care. And that's like manipulation with appearances and the way in which they appear to you particularly, or it's a party or it's a group, it can be literally anything in here. But one thing in particular that's universal is the fact that the value of pile number 2 is very, very powerfully being brought to their awareness, and for some people it's actually making them feel a bit panicky. I want to even say, on a profound level, it makes me feel like people, I even wrote this, would beg for you. This is like, in the end of it, if the person fails at everything, they would be even begging for you. I don't know, this is kind of weird, but that's what I wrote, that's what I saw. I also wrote in here proficient use of old knowledge or skill. That came from the idea of you possessing something very powerful, even perhaps maybe ancient, could be ancient wisdom, could be ancient power, could be ancient whatsoever, but could be lineage, could be talent, something like this can also be very relevant to pile number 2. So what is apparent in here that it's people craving your energy. Also, dreams, cravings, wanting to be revealed. I want to say there is a desire to feel validated or revealed, or seen by you. Okay, this is a very persistent, and even I would say wild thoughts could translate for people into dreams. Cravings could translate into like obsessions or low-key unconscious behaviors that would result in people exposing their presence or being around you. Okay, it's funny because I even want to say, if you were to confront them, this is not something that they would even admit. It's like a person who's in love but it's in denial about it. Fan base, admirers waiting for you. Okay, and I usually don't write this thing, but it's like what I saw in this case. And this is not like the usual fan base. These are a lot of selective people that are just interested or low-key obsessed with you, and this could come off as being like fan base type of energy. What's interesting, they want to actually have access to you. I see as well some people in here sitting as, I don't know why the car thing is the case. I see a person or actually a group of people selectively doing that, sitting in the sitting in the car or driving the car and thinking about various things that they admire about you, wondering about, like, almost like filling the gaps with that, with exactly that which is unknown, or wildly not being able to decipher, wanting to decipher you, and really like weaving like stories and imaginations and fantasies about you, like while driving the car, for example. Almost as if you would be thought as being this is very weird. It feels like this is almost veneration, okay? This is like very infatuated, idealizing, and revering. Like, this is what I see. I'm telling you directly what I see, and it's kind of fun because I'm thinking like, okay, how this will resonate individually, I have no idea, but okay, it's something that is worth saying, okay? Yeah, I want to say it's like missing information and also filling the gaps with things that they imagined or they assume, or they like really like paint a very beautiful image in their mind about you. That's actually it carries a very real part to it. But this infatuation, it makes me feel like there are some mixed elements to it that make it so they're actually looking at an image that they have created about you, okay? And Wild Thoughts could be just as similarly to Pile 1, go check it out if you want, where they fantasize and they imagine being chosen by you as well. Okay? Powerful worth and resource given to people. They can't have enough of it. I literally just literally just was talking about that. But you know, when for example you wanna see some if you want to see a person more often, then you make them dependent on you. Okay, like that's how this feels like. It's almost as if, you know, you want them more often, you give them a discount to a place where you hang about, or like a desire to almost catch you and make you stay someplace in their proximity so that they could admire you. Okay, that's weird, but that's what I can see. Value old knowledge, that's also I covered actually, but wild thoughts about how they would live their life in the expression of this value of yours, claiming you. Like, this is weird, but yeah, it's like, you know, people are aiming for some sort of idea or legend that, you know, I was actually one to get acquainted with this popular person, okay? Begging sad for you. Okay, this is like on a more, let's just say, desperate spectrum, but we have in here very sad thoughts about you, very sad longing, grief, loss of you, yearning as well. It's a very it comes at night. It's a very nighttime insomnia type of thought, or wild thing that's crossing people's minds at night. And this is not about a lot of them, but this is about particular like people. For some it could be four people, three, and for one particular person, this is one person individually that, you know, just deeply craves you, okay? But this like universal worth or very powerful like golden reputation image seems to be getting in the way of them wanting, or them being able to access you, okay? Mastery as well. This is very similar to what I was talking previously about, but securing a place, like wanting to be best friends with you as well. I've also seen here some provider type of energy, where someone wants to almost, I see a crib, I see a house, I see someone like, would you choose me if I were to create the perfect circumstances, particularly woven or crafted, or, you know, I thought about what your needs are and I wanted to provide those. It's like a person trying in here to make it so like it's a wild imagination or plan to actually create some sort of safe space for you to show up into and to be compelled to be there, and this to as well guarantee that they have access to you. The craze in here from the people, from the value thing I was seeing, it's very intriguing. I don't understand what this is all about, but this is energy, and it's something that perhaps if you want you can share in the comment section. But it's puzzling because it makes me feel like the things that I'm saying in here are a bit wild, but nonetheless very truthful. It's a very core thread of the reading, so I cannot ignore it, or I cannot pretend that it's not there, because it's a center thread or theme in here that seems to be recurring, even though I'm trying to look at the other intricacies as well. So do make sure to, of course, if you want, share a bit about your story in here, because seems like there is likelihood that people would benefit from knowing some sort of thing, truth, or way in which you reached what you reached, and it's making me feel like it's very um, worth noting, knowing, or even writing at some point and letting other people know that it's actually happening for you, it's working in your favor. I want to also say there is meticulous energy. This is a meticulous person, almost as if, like, with this perfection and attention to detail, this person, the provider, or one person that's very close to this energy, there is a studying of your character, of your intricacies, of your points, of your strengths, and the person is trying to estimate what they can properly create so that you could be again inserted into their life, but by your own will, like them not wanting to impose themselves upon you. And also I wrote in here, this is coming from the dancer, weaver, and again acolyte: beautiful performance or display of skill. Okay, makes people curious, makes people wanna like celebrate your wins, celebrate things together, partying as well. I want to say this is like, it makes me feel like this is a piece, a very valuable piece in the museum, a very valuable painting. Again, like me and art comparison thinking, it's not comparison, but trying to explain it through the means of art is definitely my favorite thing. I saw in here the coffin, and it's in reverse. You have a trail, like it's a blazing trail of people in various relationship configurations that say to themselves or to you, would dare say, this is not over yet, or you can't slip away like this, you can't leave me, or you can't slip from my grasp so easily as you did. And I don't want this to end, and it will not end until I say it. So, and I want to say this is like very similar to the begging sad energy. It makes me feel like there is a persistent addiction in here over you, over your presence, okay? And it makes me feel like they think to themselves like, you won't get away. You won't get away even if you block them. Okay, this is very, it sounds really strange, but that's again, I just want to say universally how you'll resonate. You're just very busy, very passionate, very busy, very like having very big things in mind, and right now it's at a point where it's powerfully manifesting through and surging through in such a speed or in such a magnitude that it's actually changing the core thread or the core matrix of your life, and thus the relationships or the ways in which people relate to you. But there is a lot of desperation, not only from what you provide and wanting to be a part of it, but wanting to claim you. So if you had issues or like also traumas in the past, how this will resonate. If you have issues with the idea of like undesirability, rejection issues, like you are outgrowing this, and I want to say, I just see you not only up leveling this to the point where you're healed, you're actually going into the opposite direction. It's like, from rejection to wild like desire, okay? or having traversed the path from one extreme to the other and being very, very liked and wanted, very wanted in here, okay? I'm trusting it will make sense to you in particular, but that's how I can see it. It's very like something about you being very valuable. It's gonna be relevant to pile number 2. With gambler risks and it's all or nothing type of thinking, I see in here almost very similar to another pile where the person wants to bet it all, to gamble it all, just to have a thread or a fragment of your presence or what you have to provide. And it's like, something along the lines of I can only meet such a person in a lifetime, or this is happening and this is like very rare. I don't feel like I'm gonna meet somebody else like them. Wanting to claim you, again, recurring theme. And there is in here, I don't have access to them. Fragile beauty will also be relevant to this. Is also, by the way, fragile in which sense, and something else. Let me go first. I don't have access to them. In the obsessive, not obsessive, but wild thoughts in here, this will be manipulation again to get a roundabout way to connect to you again. But it also makes me feel like the more you detach, the more you understand that what you want or what you desire desires you, or what you want is already yours, the more detached you feel and the more desperacy it actually sparks into people. Okay? Something about you is awakening to the idea or to the perception that you're actually not only you're valuable and worthy, you're actually it's skyrocketing. The idea of self-confidence in here is skyrocketing. This is like coming from the sense of I'm enough, and it's transitioning into I am desirable. I am scarce in this universe. I am like, it's a very good thing because it's laced to the idea of confidence and identity and worth. So I only encourage it, of course, in the limits of the ecological, like ethical sense. But in general, like, that's what I can say. It's like, not only I am enough, my value is actually infinite. And people, if they are not aware of that, that's not my problem, okay? And when I say infinite, it's like for it to not be, let's just say, vague. It's like, I deserve the best. I deserve the best food. I deserve the best clothing. I deserve to be treated the best. I won't stand people just treating me in various negative ways. I'm not gonna tolerate abuse. And it's not even like tolerating because nobody dares. It's like, no, you're literally disconnecting or becoming cold or not interested in that type of energy. It's not even that dramatic or grappling to it or grabbing onto it and saying, this is not right. And no, it's like just moving forward, okay? We have in here also apathy, disposal, loss of control and loss of access. This is giving me the image of a flower that has wilted. The moment in which your energy leaves the room, leaves the relationship, the person is brought to what they were, and it carries this spiritual power or this spiritual meaning that your presence enlivens people. Um, whether you want this or not, it's happening in a very indirect way. The moment when you leave people, it makes them feel really powerless. It makes them feel like they are back into their obstacles. It makes them feel like they don't have enough energy or like they don't have a reason to move forward. And something about you was actually inspiring them to move forward. And you could be very light, you could be very lively, you could be very it's not a grand master plan in here. For some it can be, but it's just as simple as freely expressing and giving your energy, generously loving the people around you, and that was enough for them to want to keep living, okay? This is like the idea of I want to reclaim, I want to come back, but it's gonna be too late. The wild aspect in here is the fact that people can no longer return, even if they had the most pure intentions ever. I don't feel like you would even turn them down. Like, this is not even the actual reason behind it. It makes me feel like their perception or readiness to face you was actually mixed with the level that you were at when they met you, and you have like inevitably evolved, and in this case you're no longer gonna stick around, you're no longer like gonna stay in that level, but the person in their mind thought to themselves that you're just gonna stay there, and even if they meet you, they are not gonna have access to you, and it's not gonna be personal. But what's lost in here cannot be easily redeemed back, and this only brings this universal energy of power and authority and scarcity and respect. And also that's exactly why I said veneration and this like reverence for your energy, for your presence, because it's very fragile. Like with fragile beauty, it's like you can get upset and the person loses it all, like loses all access, love, connection to you, okay? Even it makes me feel like some people could have even tried to give it all or everything for you, and they to the point where it actually depletes them. I would even say it could make you feel sad, but the persistent idea to make you come back is just too strange in here, okay? With the Three of Swords, it's like even placing this bet or expanding their energy, extending it towards you would feel less depleting than actually doing nothing. And doing nothing would be equal to feeling powerless. I don't know. Just mild, let's just say it's not mild, okay? It's very powerful addiction to your energy. There's a wild thought in here that people think, or some person thought that you have power or authority over other people. To me, the funniest aspect of this whole thing is how complicated this all sounds, where literally it's how like complicated it could look like in their minds, when in actuality this could be literally as simple as being a decent human being, and people recognizing that and wanting to place themselves as close to you as possible. Whereas for some people, actually it comes through as being like very like advanced mathematics or formulas and schemes and very dense and complicated things, where it doesn't literally have to be that complicated, just straightforward, okay? And I even wrote in here truth at some point, yeah, because we have justice in here. Something about you is wildly truthful, honest, authentic, upfront, and very, very attractive because of it. I see in here like not even a desire to connect necessarily. This is so easily happening. People are actually anticipating it like this. Like you don't even have to initiate contact. You could be sitting there and your energy could be calling people in. I would even say that we have in here a wild story about somebody blaming you and actually like calling you a sort of, I don't know, a siren, or you made them feel this way, or yeah, blaming you. It can be the case. Like this person is too alluring, they must have done something, okay? But overall, also creeping disparity, sadness, and powerlessness. This is coming from the idea of missing you or missing a chance with you, okay? When you're not around, it feels like life is lacking in joy, in celebration, in authenticity. It like also, funnily enough, people get used to your energy, like your authenticity, to the point where not only they want to emulate it when they get back into relationships or other situations, they can see the harsh contrast or reality of what the world is not, okay? What the world is not. So it's like, you know, people could be lying, could be holding double standards, double faced, whatever the case may be, and it genuinely makes them howl at the moon, because we have this Ten of Cups in reverse with with some wolves in here. It's very like painful, like realization that more and more confirmations come about um, to them over time, understanding who you were and all of this. Okay, stalking, heartbroken, revenge. It's almost as if this is very sad, by the way. I was like very hesitant to write revenge in here, but people being mad to themselves and wanting to, blaming themselves in here. There is gonna be a great many people blaming themselves that they couldn't handle you properly, feeling deprived of you, where in the past you could have given your energy and attention freely to them. I would risk it all for you again if I had the chance. And would you, I also channeled this, like, would you accept me if I just came to you with the bare truth, you know? But I don't have access to you anymore. Painfully battling, or this is like a recurring also theme, or of wanting to battle for you again, or wanting to fight for you again so that they can prove themselves to you. And it also makes me feel like right now too many people or too many parties are interested in your attention, and I don't stand a chance. Painful disappointment, loneliness. I can't be family with them anymore. No more stability, no more easy access to you, no more calling you when it's convenient, okay? And no longer calling you theirs. This is beyond romance, by the way. Right now they are more than I can handle. This is more than romance, because this could be school friends, this could be acquaintances from the past, this could be situations where the person was actually thinking, I have access to them, I'm alright, like, they're my friend, like, if I come to them, even if we didn't like connect, I remember them, like, they're gonna accept it, like, they're a reasonable person in their mind. They think that they are actually reasonable to request that, because they saved this image of you from the past in their mind, and they think that you've remained like this, okay? Funny, but yeah, whatever. Kind of this is it, file number 2. That was a very intense thing. I want to say what you bring to fruition in here is very beautiful. It's very like, it's a testimony of sorts, where if you engulf a person in trauma or in setbacks, and you give them enough energy, power, and the desire to change it all, and the proper empowerment, then this is exactly what's happening, okay? Well done. If you stayed, if you're still here, okay, if you are still here in the reading and you resonated, then wonderful job. This is like, I don't even have to tell you, you're just very valuable to people, and it's a value beyond. It's a cosmical, like, not from this earth type of like value, and I really love it that you unlocked it, or you are becoming more and more aware of it. So that's kind of it, pile number 2. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the older videos on the channel as well. Make sure to donate if you want. You have the links in the description and the comment section. And make sure to comment below what's going on if you want. Thank you once again for watching, and thank you in advance for all the support you're showing to my channel. Take care. Okay, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. Let's see what we have in here. Already I can pick up on some very stuck energies. With Imrama, where are you being called to journey, in reverse. You have multiple people stuck on you. This is the type of wild thoughts, similarly just like to 1 and 2, where it's forbidden for some reason. It carries an energy of, I shouldn't think about this, I shouldn't think as much about them. There is a compulsive thinking aspect element when it comes to you. It's very rooted, it's very deep, it's very pervasive. Unfortunately, though, um, actually, why unfortunately? It's just as it is. Like, you know, it's rooted, it's deep, it's fixation, it's talking about some sort of feeling of being also chosen. So if you're wondering if people choose you, whether it be like romantic, not romantic, doesn't matter. But there is one person, can be more, but I'm picking up on one, where the person decided to establish or to stabilize, establish family-wise. There is a feeling of being obsessed with the idea of you, with the idea of settling down, okay? This is wild because, again, carries the forbidden element, or this is very felt like, this is very feeling driven perception. Mentally, it is accompanied by the thought aspect, but rationally speaking, or societally wise, right now it feels like it's a no in their head when the emotions say yes, okay? There is just something very pulling in, attracting a lot of attention when it comes to pile number 3. And I love it that actually it doesn't make sense to them. It doesn't make sense to them because of how much, I want to just say it, late night thoughts, compulsive thoughts, fixation thoughts, wanting to build something but feeling like it's out of place or it's inadequate, or you know that feeling when you go with the intention to, I don't know, let's say buy something, buy a pair of shoes, right? And then you, in the middle of the act, in the middle of going outside, you just happen to pass by a store and you see the shoes there being much better than what you initially thought was in that initial store. You know, it's like, I found something better, it doesn't make sense, I don't have to go right now to this other store I thought that I'm gonna buy from. I feel like these are plans, I feel like these are very like empty, hollow plans people have, and when they meet you it doesn't make sense. And also unofficial came through. It's like, you know, some official offer is not as good as the unofficial one. Third parties will definitely be the case for this one, but just for it to click, I just want to give some pointers. See how this resonates with you overall. This pile identifies as spiritual. This pile is highly unattainable. This pile is very good, very like relationship material, and it doesn't have to be flattery. It doesn't have to be boosting your ego. I see a rational person having rational facts associated to them in the guise of, you know, I know I'm worthy, okay? I know I'm relationship material. I know from myself, I'm aware of that, okay? That's the energy that's coming through. And with the mountains, I know that this is not something that I talk or brag about, but it's true. I know I am relationship material. That's how you recognize yourself. This is also a pile, by the way. Something about you is proficient, something about you is defined, refined, as well as really put to, like, you really put mind into it, mind into things, dedication, perseverance, mastery, and the loner, by the way. loner is gonna play out really well with pile number 3. Not only because we have the Hermit there, but still. We have some wild, inconsistent stories, thoughts, things, fantasies, storylines, entire storylines, I want to say. It makes me feel as though we have some people in here really fantasizing some storylines or ramifications of the future that are so good they actually deserve to be written somewhere. Like, not kidding. This is unexpected one for pile number 3, but because I see the ring in here, this is definitely a fantasy where the person is seeing you married to them. This is a quiet, secret thing, but my God, this is not even the this is not even the ring. This is like chained to you. This is like needy, wanting you. Like that's the it's a very worthy match, I want to say. The energy that's coming from this person is very mature in its intention, at least. In the behavior, I don't feel like you identified necessarily the person, but let me tell you something. This one is studying you, and this one wants to settle down. This is like the contents of wild, like wild thoughts. It doesn't make sense, and it's wild particularly because, again, something about the story doesn't make sense. It must make some sense on a felt level. You know, it's like that story when you meet something or someone and you say it's yours or it's matching your energy. Okay, just open the window. You know, you can stumble across a person and you can say, you know, this person I'd get really well along with. Sorry. I can get along really well with that person. That's how the energy circulates around this. It's a very quiet one. It's a very quiet one. It's a very unknown and wild one, particularly again because it doesn't make sense. It could be that the person is actually taken. It can be the case that the person actually had some initial plans prior to meeting you that made perfect sense to them, and right now they are fixated on you with this ring. But everything fixates upon the ring card, so it's very weird. And also the mountains. Again, this is a very secret, deeply intricate like thing. This is one person, by the way. I'll delve into more, but that's something that just came through really, really defined, concrete, and very, funnily enough, very unexpectedly potent. So whatever you're dealing with or you're being faced with, I don't know, this makes me feel like it's a secret crush situation, but the person really took it into a very serious note, in a very serious direction, very long term. Okay. And what I want to also say, there are more people in here that within Rama, it's like, I wanted this, I met it. I wanted this 2 things in a person, 3 things, and this person is matching that energy. I want to say you're more things than actually they thought or they anticipated. Powerful energy, and quite funnily enough, they never thought they were gonna find the combination of these in one particular person. I want to also say there is one very defined person in here that thought that they're gonna take it all and run away with it, but there is also one, it's not very good energy, okay? I just want to say it. It's like meeting their needs multiple. This is a different person, but it feels like they're wanting to meet their needs and take some from you and from some other person as well, and really be open about it, you know? Kind of not okay, but right. It's also kind of intrusive, okay? um I don't know if you know this, like, should I break it to you? But the thoughts that are linked to you are very obsessive and low-key admiration, awe, and fascination. I want to build something stable, serious with that person. And again, this is regardless of the status. That which I was talking about earlier was more romantic, but in your case, from the general side of things, the ring in here can signify multiple people wanting to be in a close community with you, or to build something long term, sustainable, and have you as their friends or acquaintances. And in general, like, there are situations in life when people say, no, I really want to go to this university or this place or this country. When they see you, they say, I want to be here with them, or I want to be their friend. I want to like, make ties with this person. Something very honorable is being linked in here from to pile number 3. Um, and it's creating this fixation in the sense that people want to get to know you better, and they want to, let's just say, open up and see what's happening, see what can happen. So definitely we do have that, but what's also seemingly concerning in here is the fact that we have secrecy, obstacles, setbacks, and burden. The ways in which these fantasies, thoughts get accompanied by denial for some, by bitter secrecy and idea that it's not gonna work, it's pretty fascinating because it's a very bittersweet situation, and I want to say the sweet part is overwhelming actually the negative part. But in and of itself, this mix, it's creating a lot of uncertainty and a lack of clarity to such an extent that the person is feeling restless. It doesn't mean that the person doesn't want, or the people in general, I want to say, it's like people don't know where they stand with you. And that's making it so that it's creating obstacles, or people are thinking about the obstacles that need to be solved, coursed through, or maybe they would want some clarity that would come from you individually, okay? And as we have in here as well, I've written exactly afterwards obstacles that need time to be traversed, or there needs to be clarity. And I feel like people in here, regardless of the one I was talking about, they, including them actually, wanted to say, it's I want more clarity, I want more time to digest all that's happening in here. There is authority in here as well. There is a powerful sense of knowing that you are not like everyone else. And I don't like this type of statement, but something about you is secretly different, and they can pick up on it in a very distinct, secretive slash unknown and very attractive way, right? So it's secretly feeling like they don't match or they are out of league, okay? From the mountain card, I wrote in here big structure, unavoidable, like the mountains, right? So it's like uh, there was a thought in here that said, I cannot ignore, I cannot bypass, I cannot pretend that they don't exist. Um, and it was said in the context where the person was feeling something, and is actually feeling something. I want to say, you are as a presence, the wild thoughts is like how well this person registers on my radar. Like, this is coming from all sides. It's like very CEO type of energy, or like, that's a reference, don't really like it. Like, this person carries undeniable importance, okay? Unavoidable obstacle type of person, okay? there's this like nagging, stinging feeling like I can't ignore them. I like, even if I wanted to ignore them, it wouldn't be possible. I want to ignore them, I can't, and it's making them feel bitter, kind of. But I love the fact that your energy is simply immune to anything that's mildly negative because you don't care. I don't feel like you care as much, and that's why they're so like upset about it, okay? With the mountains in here is like, how is it that I am a higher up and I cannot question their like authority? I cannot make them fully um, fragile or vulnerable, and it's making me feel upset. Okay, like that's how I can see it. Also, there is a push in here to collaborate, to be friendly, to be polite around you, despite them not really wanting this or feeling as though it's a pull or a compulsion. It's very annoying as well. There is this also wild nagging feeling or thought that you cannot be fooled, okay? I see in here some people trying to, like with false promise, with failed promises, like I see a person trying to play around, fool around, and them understanding, or it's hitting them real hard that they won't be able to employ that with you. With disloyalty in here, it's like you can sense disloyalty, or you can sense when something goes wrong from a mile, okay? That's why, that's what I saw from the Hound card in reverse. It's like no loyalty outside of you, or structure-wise, whatever the case may be, is ever gonna make it so that you will be fooled, because we have Astronomer and Chiromancer in reverse. With Astronomer, for me, it's a very spiritual, authoritative card with augury and discovery. It's like, you know, pile number 3 has an eye for intuition working in their favor, or has an eye for events or situations um, going astray or going in the wrong direction, and you feeling it before it actually is happening. Okay. I can also see that you are like emerging victorious, and you will predict it. You will be able to see it, okay? Um, Wild thought about, again, magnetic, powerful, power-driven presence. Very important. Like I can say also, your presence carries importance. It brings importance to the table, whether people really like it or not. Okay. We have in here from this ring card bound to you, relationship bound, promise, commitment. And we have the surrounding cards. This is very interesting. I love that I see this here. We have scholar, investigation and research, along with the shepherd, celebration and family, with the warrior as well in reverse. This particular person feels defenseless, disarmed in your presence, and it's a very like disarming, surrendering, soft, gentle feeling. Recognizing your status, your power. With shepherd, it's like, I don't want to fight with this person, I just want to feel close to them. This person is observing and examining you with a scholar, with investigation. You would perhaps not believe me if I said it, but they have like a sort of an investigation thingy, whether it be subconscious, unconscious, conscious, doesn't really matter. But the person is really gathering information. For some of you, literally, the person is writing something, or taking notes, or thinking, or compartmentalizing information and categorizing it in such a way that they could better understand you. I can see in here from the ring card an initial very powerful attraction, and the person was like, let's study them, let's like get into the detail of things, get really acquainted to them indirectly through the means of gathering information. But really positive things I want to say. This person is really ready to surrender. Okay. Very optimistic, positive, innocent feelings in here, I can also say. And you also have from the sides a lot of admiration, fascination, perhaps also mixed with a lot of honor, dignity, and status. Regardless of the place you're in at, you could be literally like this does not relate to the job status. This does not relate to how people think or what parties you're involved with or what other people say about you. You're like a secret gift that was being like, let's just say, injected into society or this group, and people can feel the actual magnitude and the realness that's coming from you. However, not all of them are fully aware of how much importance you actually have or carry, and it's for some like they don't even want to look at it, or they don't want you to fully shine because it's making them feel really annoyed, or it's like the whole attention is being shifted towards you. But for one person in particular in here, this is like the ring card, like it's a good sign that one person, as I said, has very like foundational feelings and foundational plans almost on you. And I say almost because it's emotionally already imprinted. All that has to happen is for the mental part to bridge the happening. But for now, it's a very beautiful mix of fascination, admiration, and like loyalty that's coming through from this one particular person. Okay, if you're not interested in one particular person, or this doesn't vibe with you, then maybe this is not your pile. But for those of you, especially if you were introduced into something new, or if you have like if you have encountered like some new connections lately, then definitely will be the case. Bound to you, this feels like it's almost a mental or emotional slash psychic connection. You can feel this person from the distance. You can, and there is not much in here. It's a lot of distance, okay? But strangely, the fixation from their side is very powerful. And also with fixation in here came collaboration and engulfment. It's a desire to slowly and gradually immerse themselves fully into the relationship, but only under the condition of their control and their gradual acceptance of it. Yeah, that's kind of strange because it feels like a personal reading already, but all I can say in here is the fact that it's coming through as from the first card, Imrama. It's like all I wanted is here. All I ever wanted is here. I don't have to travel. I don't have to look into this world. I don't have to look outside to, like, they're here. Like, this person is here. This is beyond, like, somebody sees in here a good relationship, like friendship establishment of the dynamic, somebody sees in here lovers, like that's the energy of that one particular person. But um, everything seems to be under control, like everything seems to be under your control, and you're being seen as very lucky for some reason. That's something as well from the sides that's coming through, like blessed from multiple ways. Yeah, and fixation in here, like this is obviously the case of what I was referring to. There is a lot of deep, dense thoughts that are being invested in the idea of you, and seemingly this will all be filtered and worked through and driven towards the idea of some sort of collaboration. It will look like collaboration from the outside. From the inside, there will be just a lot of data gathering and data input that is gonna arise out of situations with your encounters, okay? With encounters including you, including your position in life, thoughts, like a lot of curiosity. People are just very drawn to the idea of getting to know you. I'm not gonna lie, this with the diviner and divination, we have the possibility that somebody in here wants to contact almost like a tarot reader or almost a psychologist. Someone in here wants in the case where the person is going to talk out everything that they feel, and this is a lot of things that transpired, and a lot of things that, let's just say, maybe it's too much for the person to handle and they need some clarity. But I can see in here like an exterior party that wants to be contacted in order for this situation to gain some clarity. I also see in here which I wrote, and failed attempts. Spiritual protection will be very relevant to this pile, or in general, it makes me feel like you behaved in such a way so far that they have no, people have no like reason to pick up on you and really say something bad or negative. It's like you hold the reins in the shadows, or this is the case where no matter what is thrown to you, you can make it you can win it, like you can make it work in your favor. It could be the worst thing that could be like thrown at you, and you're gonna be like handling it really well and really exit from it with a sense of dignity and power that people are gonna really respect. Somebody in here said, or there was some wild thoughts, like very sneaky ones saying, no, they twisted the rules in their favor. You're being seen as mysterious, kind of weird. This weird bit is coming from the idea that they cannot decipher or really get you or understand you. Failed attempts to manipulate as well, or manipulation. There was this like very heavy idea in the air that you just can't be manipulated. You cannot be your will doesn't bend. It could be that situations require you to say things, or maybe to even, I want to say, like lie, okay? But in the end, like, you remain true to yourself, and you can spot the lies and you can outmaneuver the situation in your favor. In the end, these people, they feel worthless. A lot of people feel worthless because either they compare or they tried to claim something that wasn't theirs, and they thought they're gonna do so by the um on the, like, let's just say, guys, or the at the expense of your well-being, and it didn't happen, and they were like left with a lot of shame and worthlessness, and it's a failed manipulation in here. You're very attuned to your surroundings in here, I also want to say. Yeah, and we have friendly collaboration to get to know you better. Exactly what I was referring to. I love that. I kind of even forget like how dense this information gets. I really forget what I write, but when I talk about it and then I immediately see it, like, yeah, it's exactly what I'm seeing in the cards. There is a whole deal of interest and curiosity and information gathering happening in the shadows from one particular person as well. Let me check, actually. There is a possibility in here, not actually possibility, okay, like that's actually what I'm reading. Somebody wants to be close, but on their own terms, or in a pace that's really comfortable to them. In the end, what they picture with the ring card as well, it's something that's very long term. It's something that's commitment oriented, or commitment from that side of things, and they want to be really considered lucky to have you. Like, that's the energy that's coming through. You could literally not be dating. You can be dating, you can be literally doing anything, but the person, you'll not recognize the depth of the feelings right away, because this person is concealing the depth, or is actually hiding a lot, okay? That's why it's coming through in this reading in a way to reassure that somebody in here has feelings, or maybe to reassure that this person is very loyal, okay? This person is very loyal to their feelings for you. So there is not much in here that can be shifted, or deep, genuine feelings, okay? Also, we have in here some painful ending. We have in here some rumination. We have in here some failure to, or miserable attempt to do something that's very shady in your in the direction of yours, and a lot of regret that came through afterwards for a plan. I see in here a person trying to get what they want, and deciding that you are going to be the one handing this to them, and it didn't happen. This feels like a reanimation, or how do they even say, like a resurrection, right? Resurrection of some sort of relationship, connection, or easy access that they've had to you, and this is like failing even in the idea of it, okay? Not even in the act of it, it's like in the idea of it. There is a lot of shame in here, okay, whatever. Feverish interest. Howling to the moon. To the moon, at the moon, I don't know. Unexplicable pull out of desperacy for you. You'd be surprised how clingy a person in here thinks and feels. Thinks about encounters with you, random encounters, how they want to feel close. It's a bit like it's very clingy. If you would see it, if you'd feel it, you'd actually feel engulfed, or it's like you'd feel like it's too much, or you'd feel a bit overwhelmed, and you'd need to catch your breath. But someone really clings to you, okay? And this feels like it's a greater pull. It's like a spiritual bond. It's like a spiritual connection, or a spiritual thing in here that overall dictates the whole dynamic. The person not only sees you good on a, let's just say, emotional, it could talk or speak about emotional intelligence, but it's deeply coming through as just, whoa, this person is multiple like layers evolved, like very good, like exactly what I want. Okay. And I wrote in here as well, but facing obstacles still. This person feels like they can't get enough of you, but because of the obstacles, it's creating this desperate situation that doesn't really play in their favor. Choking on you, I don't know. This is kind of funny that I wrote this here, but um, I literally see a person not being able to let go, being drawn to the intensity, can't fully digest them, but still wanting more, okay? Bond, binding, obsession, okay? And it's all cascading into this feeling of, I want commitment, okay? Regardless of what's happening, I just want commitment. Because again, with the ring in here, the ring card is a very nice indication that regardless of what's happening in here, some person wants the idea and the presence secured. It's not even like the idea of a marriage, because it really doesn't matter. I would say it's an expression of this original feeling, and it's a very genuine one at that as well. So somebody chose you, like that's what I can say in here for pile number 3. Studying, observation, and expertise. There is a person, could be this one, could be a group of people, like literally you just take how it resonates individually for you, but the person meticulously analyzing, observing, and gathering information so that they can properly understand the various intricacies of you. And it's making me feel like it's a whole deal of investigation, or carefully analyzed plan to get to know you better without fully facing you, or without fully facing the probability of a rejection. As well, there is somebody in here studying your patterns, your behaviors, your reactions. Um, like the person is almost like in a lab, performing experiments with the information that they have gathered about you. This is kind of funny because you would not expect, wild this is, because so much importance and so much attention is being given to you because of it. Like imagine a person thinking about you and you're so important that the person is actually like taking this real serious and really deeply pondering on this. So it's like, yeah, You should understand how important you are to people, for them to delegate so much resource, attention, and time to study you so well. I see and hear people wanting to almost shelter you or make you feel belonging. Besides them, I see a desire to take for you to take part in celebrations and to be successfully assimilated or integrated within the whole. And a lot of admiration, a lot of quiet positive light, like yellowish golden type of like sunshine energy that's seeping through the reading. And you'd be surprised from which direction it comes, because it's seemingly you didn't even invest a lot of effort into it, but it's really working well. Like the reputation in here is quietly um, building power or weight, in the sense that, you know, your image seems to be ascending or being even better and better with the time passing. Um, there are attachments in here from people, and particularly as well this person, but some people seem to be holding a lot from the past, and this person from the present seem to be holding very close to the idea of you, to the image of you, to the presence of yours. Or it's like we have in here some people thinking from the past about your presence, and it's really like all they have is a memory and they cherish it deeply, okay? Like I'm never gonna meet somebody like them again. Something about you is linked also to a memory or to a safeguarded, like very precious memory, and they hold on to you because that's all they have of you right now. Could have been abusive, could have been whatever the case may have been, but regardless of the how this person is feeling, there seems to be this longing, missing, and very sad thing. Anyway, there is a thought in here of protecting you from the shadows, or is like watching over you. The protection in here, why it's wild, okay, again. If the protection were to be expressed outwardly or directly, you would understand how much the person actually values and cares for you. That's why it seems like the person is actually analyzing or really thinking about the ways to observe you and to pick up on your energy and how you feel. This person could be around, could be giving their presence as though, like, you know, in it's like a protection of sorts, where the person is there or available. If anything happens, you can definitely count them in, or something like this. But defenseless, homecoming, very disarming feelings we have in here associated to you. Wild, like fantasies of surrendering, okay? Like homecoming and them feeling like their heart is at home with you. Feeling at home, okay? Heart feeling at home. Warrior reversed, there is a lot of feelings of this person wanting to be um wanting to surrender to you. It's a lot of, let's just say, admiration as well, but wanting to purely surrender. And a lot of people as well want you to feel like you have to drop your guard down, and them too. It's like connecting with you on a very pure, like light and childish like type of wonder level. There are feelings of not being worthy, or worthy of you, or good enough for you. um Somebody in here really, like, I don't want to even go there, but it's like almost like punishing themselves, or feeling like, you know, I'm too late, or I should have done something better with my life, or a lot of regret. It's as if they want to show their best sides, but they don't have as much, or they think that they don't have as much to show. Perfectionism as well, like a wild desire to perfect themselves and to make them, like, work on themselves in such a way that it's actually like they are desirable, they're perfect for me, okay? Like that's um where when the reality is a bit more messy. So it's like I don't have enough time or resource to prove myself. We also have replenishment, so it's like a lot of people almost like seem strangely at home or relaxed around you. And again, I love that. Again, I was talking about protectiveness hidden or not expressed, but there is definitely in here this person wanting to conceal, hide, and like hide you away from danger. Like that's so funny. We have as well in here prediction of the future in reverse. um you could come off as being like how it registers wildly in their thoughts that you are unpredictable and you cannot be predicted. There is a lot of feeling of sadness over the fact or over the idea that you could be ahead of them and you could be outsmarting or being like one step ahead of them already, because it makes me feel like not only they perceive themselves as not enough, if you would transform quickly or change quickly, this would make them feel like, I can't keep this up already, and this person is like 2 steps ahead of me. It's a very grievous, like sad feeling of comparison, but yeah, there is loss of control, no prediction, no safety net when it comes to you, okay? It's very raw, it's very like unfiltered, but there is a lot of like idea or thinking about how they're being viewed in your eyes, like how they are being seen. And also people want to impress you in general. That's what I can see. There is um, defenselessness, that's linked to the idea of you being capable or able to see through people. And a lot of people don't like it. They can feel it. It's like, why this person gets so much access to this type of information, and especially the vulnerable one, like, am I not allowed to have secrets or something? Being seen to clearly by you, spiritual sight, you could have it. You could have intuition that, reveals things to you in advance or through dreams or whatever. But again, we have stuck on you, even in okay, even in the person's non-committal energy. Okay, um, this makes me feel like it doesn't make sense. Like it could come off as even a bit inconsistent, but this could be a reality that's unfolding in the person's mind, and it's like held and closed off under like, and it's held under wraps for from some time. Actually, it's a very secret layer, okay, that the person doesn't want to admit to, but you spark a lot of feelings, okay? Pure desire to commit, to make it work, okay? In the exterior, it could look like non-committal energy or even avoidant, okay? You could literally have this person and saying to me like, no, this person is not having feelings, okay? And you'll feel like this is not the case because like the rational cues or the rational explanation to this, the person doesn't have feelings, when in fact the person actually does have feelings. And you'll recognize by the odd behavior or how weird the interactions go. Okay, but also you cannot be fully digested by them, by people in general. Like there is too much to digest. Funnily enough, that's the case. We have in here complete and utter loss of control. um, there were some thoughts in here over the fact that they feel stretched, like their awareness of you feels stretched from people. It's like, I can figure this person out, I can think about this person, I can mentally like place them in a box, and with this one I just can't, and I don't understand why. And it's like really annoying because you evade people's like labels. Pure desire to commit, or at least to make it happen or change so that this is the case, or this is like, you understood, like a desire to commit despite not having the present moment ability to do so. I want to say with stability being rooted in hero road and even bracing themselves, like the person who's not ready with the idea of how deep you're gonna hit them on an emotional level and how they're gonna think about settling down, okay? Painfully holding on to you, and nothing can change that. Nothing can make them waver, okay? I can't influence them, um, wanting you but having no idea how to bridge that gap. And also, there is a feeling of wanting to shake your stability or composure, or to see what would take for you to be shaken in that. I want to say it's like I see a person in here having feelings and them wanting to make it so that not only they are the one feeling vulnerable about it. Okay. Definitely can infer from this reading that you have a very close circle in here that you're interacting with, and the people around, they are having a lot of reserved thoughts about you, but definitely there is this one person's energy that seems to be pervading the whole reading, and it's in and out, it's hot and cold. That's exactly how as well you're gonna recognize them. But judging from the cards, there is a lot of respect, there is a lot of honor, there is a lot of like this person feels like they're, you can't like mess with them. It's on a very strangely felt and indirect level, so it's like I cannot mess with them. I could, but I don't. Like, there is a lot of protection in here that's also seeping through, and everything is being distilled down to the idea with the Three of Pentacles. Like, we have to connect. We have to just be friends. We have to get along really well with each other, because I don't want to get on bad terms with them. It's like the consequences would be too big. It's almost as if the person would have to leave the workplace if this is work related, or a lot of blessings would be cut off from them if they were to actually mess with you and your light. And there is too much to lose if they are to lose you, okay? That's kind of it, pile number three. I hope you enjoyed the reading. It was oddly specific and very concrete. It almost felt like a personal reading of sorts. So yeah, I hope you're satisfied with the result. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Check out the old videos as well on the channel. And if you want to donate, you have the link in the PayPal link in the description and the comment section. Once again, thank you so much for watching, and thank you in advance for all the support that you show to my channel. And I hope to hear from you in the future. Take care. Kind of funny because all these readings feel like a monologue of sorts, but in the end, like, I'm reading the comments, it's not like a monologue, but it's like, see you next time. It's like I'm talking to myself. It's all right. Yeah. Take care.